build a tent and a curtain rod.
Testing. Hello. Yeah.
Is your mic near AC? It says.
Does it not like it?
Let us know how the audio is.
Hello.
So what do you think about the Austin comedy scene and how it's a totally new scene that's never been seen before in the history of the world?
I think it's a really cool scene because there's a lot going on all the time, and basically, like, my home scene was so small compared to this one. Like, you just get to see, like, I've just seen, like, people that are, like, really good at, like, just
Really good at comedy?
yeah, like, there's just, like, a lot of talent here, and it's, like, it's harder to get seen, but that's a good thing, because that means, like, you're actually, like, surrounded by people that you're impressed by, or you're, like, they're doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah. This place is like a magnet because everyone comes here from all over the world. And we all decided we're all meeting here.
Yeah, it is like a cool, like, I'm glad I chose this city, because I was between here and New York, and, like, New York was just, the cost of living was too much, and they still had a lot of COVID restrictions, because I was looking to move last spring, so I didn't want to wait till all the COVID stuff was lifted, so I chose this city. This is actually, April 5th will be 1 year since I first visited Austin.
Yeah, I remember that. You went to the mic at the park.
Oh yeah, I was drunk during that night, could you tell?
Oh.
I went there,
Auditorium Shores.
I went to Lambert's while I was waiting for the mic to start after I signed up, and I just, like, started drinking by myself, and by the time I left that place, I was just like, I didn't even drink that much. I think I, like, drank, but, like, I felt it. I was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, probably because that's awesome that you were going through a transitionary period, and you were here, and you were just, like, checking it out and traveling and enjoying life.
Yeah, well, I had the trip booked before. I was like, he was supposed to go originally, and then he was like, oh, I can't, my work won't let me go, and I was a huge bitch about that, and
You were being a female dog about that?
yeah, I was like, well, if you wanted this bad enough, if you wanted it as bad as I would, you would find a way to go with me.
Yeah, he wasn't about that Austin life. He's probably in, like, fucking Lubbock or, like, fucking, you know.
I don't know what he's doing. We don't talk anymore. But yeah, I moved here, and here I am.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't have the gumption and the courage to move to Austin, and those people, you know, they're lesser than, they're not fully human like us.
This city's not. I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's sad that you broke up, and it's sad when you plan something to do together and then someone cancels because of work. Like, who gives a shit? The job doesn't care about you. The job is just a faceless entity that consumes human beings for profit. And to sacrifice your actual life for a job and whatever is bullshit.
I think he just didn't really have as much interest. I think the job thing was just kind of like a get off the hook kind of thing.
Right.
No, we were just going separate ways. Like, he was getting more into, like, oh, that's a pretty sunset. Ooh, look at that. He was getting really into, like, YouTube content. I was getting more into, like, live performance. So once he started kind of, like, not. Sorry.
Just keep going.
Okay.
It'll tell you, like, to stay on I-35 5 different times.
Yeah, I think we're fine. But once he started like kind of not showing as much interest in like drive towards stand-up, I was kind of losing interest, because that was like that's the whole reason we got together, was because we both loved stand-up. So it kind of like created a rift.
So his disinterest in stand-up comedy was like crucial or problematic for you.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the things.
But, I mean, can't you date someone who's not a comedian? Do they have to do comedy?
I haven't dated, since I've been a comic, I've only dated comics, which I'm not sure is a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like the thing that's good about it is, one, they understand what you're doing, they care about it as much as you do, and they don't care, they understand that when you say like, oh, I'm gonna be out at this late mic, I'm gonna be out until like 1 in the morning, or like, you know, midnight, I'm gonna be hanging out with all these, like, and it's mostly men, so like I feel like it would be a lot to like to date a guy that's not a comic and be like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna be at this place hanging out with all these men for hours.
Aren't most places mostly men?
I don't know. I've never dated a non-comic, so I guess I can't really say like what it would be like.
Well, I don't think it's bad. I love dating people that are similar and we're going through something together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I wasn't expecting this to happen. We were just really good. We were as friends when I moved down here, and then we just slowly started like getting like to know each other more and developed feelings. But I wasn't really expecting that to happen. I wasn't like looking for it. I didn't want to date another comic because I was like, no, I wanted to date outside of my friend group. I was like, I need to stop trying to date within my friend group. Like, this isn't healthy. This isn't good for me. And then I tried, and it just wasn't.
They weren't friendly.
I just wasn't having any luck. Like, I don't know. I just like, I guess I didn't try hard enough.
Finding out they were your friends. You just didn't. They were in your friend group. You just didn't know them.
Well, like, I don't know, cause like, I do this thing where like I become good friends with a guy, and then, you know, eventually I'm like, oh, could I see myself with this person, or am I just like is this just like a comfort person because I already know them a lot, and like I already like don't have to go through like the scary part of like going on dates and getting to know somebody and all that, and like I already know, like, because to me it's like, after a while, it started to not make any sense. It's like, why am I trying so hard to like talk to people outside of my friend group when me and this person already have a great connection? We already know each other on like we know each other more personal level.
Exactly.
We like, it just doesn't. After a while, it just didn't make sense. I was like, why is it? What's wrong with it?
I think some people look at dating as like a very separate, like atomized thing. It's like, there's my normal life, and this is my dating life, and this is my work life. But I don't think that's natural or healthy. I think in actuality we should be in this giant mess of people and just like connecting and being with people in a general sense, instead of just being like, okay, now let me go into the dating section of my life, and then let's go into this friendship part, and then the comedy part and the work part. I think it's better if you're just like, oh, this is just a person, and let me connect with them and then see where it goes, instead of
exactly. Like, that's why I hate dating apps, because it's like,
now I'm dating.
It's like, I don't know, I've never had good luck with them. I've never had, like, even people that seemed like really good in like in text conversation or in pictures or in like what they did, what they were interested in. Even if they seem really good on paper, like, it's just really hard to like meet up with somebody in that context and have like chemistry. Like, I didn't feel. I went on a Hinge date like when Jesse was on tour, and I just like didn't have any chemistry. I just had mouth surgery, and I was like wasn't allowed to drink, so I had to be completely sober for the date. So like that could have also played into it. But
couldn't drink alcohol, but you can drink water.
I couldn't drink anything with a straw, and I couldn't drink alcohol. So I was literally like, I was literally like 2 hours out of surgery. Like I was like chewing on gauze during this day. It was like really bad. And and then we met up. We went to.
Why did you do that? Why didn't you just be like, can we reschedule? I just had surgery.
Because Jesse was getting home the next day. And I kind of figured it was going to be now or never. Like, I was like, I guess I could have gone on the date. Like, we weren't together yet, but I felt weird about it. So I was like, I would rather do this while he's on tour. Just to, like, I would rather just do it now.
Maybe it had nothing to do with how weird it was. Maybe it's just because you guys were like, oh, we're going to forge an intimate connection now with no...
Yeah, there's just, like, there's no... I think that's the thing about it. There's no reason, there's nothing that brought us together other than this app, other than this one like thing.
Loneliness.
Other than us deciding like, okay, I need to date somebody. Boop, there it is. Like, and the weird thing is we had a lot in common. That was the weirdest thing. Like we were talking about like scuba diving. We were talking about like, what else? There was something weird that he was interested in that I was like, oh, that's weird that you're interested in that, because I am too. But mayonnaise. It was just still, no, not mayonnaise. I hate mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. But we went to this loud piano bar on like 5th Street. The reason we couldn't reschedule is because we bought tickets to see Taylor Tomlinson. So we couldn't reschedule because of that. Because the tickets were expensive. I had put off that surgery for so long that if I put it off for any longer, I was going to be in extreme pain. It was just not meant to be. And he didn't even kiss me goodbye, and he didn't text me after saying like, oh, I had a good time, or just nothing. So clearly he didn't have a good time.
Maybe he was put off by the gauze.
I didn't have the gauze in my mouth during the date. I had it on the way over, and then I took it out.
You just had gauze in your purse?
I was just like popping like fucking ibuprofen. I'm just like, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't think that you wanted to kiss.
He probably didn't. I did make a joke about drooling into soup on the date that I thought was funny, but he probably did. He seemed like he was really funny. Like when we were talking in the text, he was like, oh, we would like kind of go have a little back and forth going, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't, you know, this is fun. But it was never like, it was always like, whenever I was like talking to somebody on an app or like trying to like do that, I always felt like I was trying to do it so I would stop like thinking about Jesse and like stop being like, oh well, in case that doesn't happen, I need to like move on. It was never like, it was kind of like I was forcing myself to go on dates. Like I was like, oh, you need a comparison. Like you gotta put yourself out there. So I feel like I also like went into it with like a bias. So I probably wasn't like the most fun on the date either.
The presence of Jesse on the date.
He could probably sense the fact that I was like thinking about somebody else or something. I probably wasn't like enough, like showing him enough like interest.
Well, I think dating is fun and important, and you know, it's a big part of everyone's development and like a big part of our lives. And I think like if I'm not dating someone, I'm like less comfortable and less happy, and I'm not nice to someone every day. Like if I'm nice to someone every day, it just puts me in a better mood, and like it gets me practicing talking to someone. And
it kind of does, like, it definitely like it gives you something to care about other than yourself, because I feel like when you're not dating anybody, like when I'm not dating anybody, I'm so selfish because all I have to care about is me and what I want to do.
You're just only thinking about yourself.
Like I want another person to tell me like what's going on in their life, and like I want to be able to help somebody with something. Yeah, like
we can't always just be thinking about ourselves. We are at our best when we're thinking about others and the larger picture.
No, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, better if you're just like, oh, hey, it's a friend, and then let's try to be intimate with someone that I actually know and care about.
Yeah, no, there's something nicer about meeting in person, and there's something that you just can't get that from. And like, I know people that have met people on apps and they're really happy with the people. I'm not saying that it's not possible to find love on the apps, but I do think that there's a certain, you just have to have a certain like chemistry. You just have to have a certain
I think you're skipping, if you just do the apps, they're just skipping a big part of the whole thing, because they're probably just going to work and going to a gym and then going back home. They have no social group, they have no friends, and then you're just trying to get the ultimate, intimate, most intimate connection right away.
Well, also like people that don't live in like places with like a big social scene, like it's a lot harder to meet people. I think the apps have a purpose, but I think in like, I don't know, in like a big city like this, like you could meet a lot of new people all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's hard sometimes to meet people, but I think you should just be in general meeting people all the time, and then a couple of them are going to be attractive to you, and then you should start dating them instead of just like only pursuing the top of the pyramid in terms of human connection.
Are you dating anybody right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing a beautiful lady right now.
From where?
She's from Riverside.
Okay, how'd you meet her?
I was skateboarding, and she was like, hot! And then I was like, what? Hey.
Oh, did she recognize you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, hi. And then she just messaged me on Instagram, and then we talked, and then I didn't talk to her for a while, and then she was like, I'm trying to get into Kill Tony, and then I was like, yeah, come through. And then we hung out like for that whole Kill Tony, and then we really hit it off and danced, and
That's good.
yeah, so it was a fun meeting.
So you're just like casually dating? You're not like in a relationship?
We're starting. It's only been since Monday, so it's only been 5 days.
So you're just kind of talking?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said some pretty heavy shit to each other, and I think that it's heading towards a relationship.
What does she do?
She's a sketch comedian.
Oh, that's cool.
Singer.
Oh, nice.
So it's similar to comedy, stand-up, but not exactly
I do
comedy.
like sketch. Yeah, sketch is cool.
Yeah, and she's super talented, so that's another
Good.
plus.
You finally.
What do you mean?
Nothing. No, I don't mean anything.
Are you talking about Christy?
No. What?
Okay.
Christy?
No, I mean,
I don't have anything against Christy.
No, I think she's funny. I just think that she's a little wild and loose cannon sometimes.
Oh, for sure. But that's just the Christy you have to accept and love. Yeah, that's cool that she's. I think that's another thing that's like so important with someone you're dating is like something that I've always valued in like a partner is like, what do I find? Not only what do I like find interesting and admire about you? Because if it's not equal, it's not gonna work. If you're like obsessed with me or vice versa, and I'm just obsessed with what you're doing versus being like having my own thing, it's never gonna like if you don't think your partner's good at something that they like believe in themselves with, it's hard to like support them when you don't have the genuine like heart to be like, oh no, you're great at that. Like that's why I like dating comics that one, I think are funny, and like two, have a good work ethic, because then I'm like, okay, well if I can respect your like we're both on the same, you gotta be on the same level is what I'm trying to say. Like you're saying that she's a singer and a sketch artist, so obviously you guys are both like funny and good at writing and good at like
if someone is awful and they're like not talented, then it'd be like you would just have to ignore that, or just be like, I'm gonna put up with it just so that I can be in a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's very healthy.
No, it never works. It always creates like a.
But what about like someone who's a superstar and they have like a trophy wife, or like someone who's like a support, like who isn't the main star but wants to support, like doesn't do anything artistic but is still like, you know, like a traditional housewife.
No, I guess that's just not what I want. Like I don't want to be like wiping my boyfriend's ass while he like wins the World Series. That's what they do, right?
Yeah, those baseball players are always getting their ass wiped.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if that's what you want, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's just not. I'm just saying that for myself, like that's just something important to me. Is like I want to respect what it is whatever you're doing. I want to be like, oh, this is good, and I want to genuinely mean it and not say it just because I like you. Like I want to be like, oh, you're actually really talented.
What if someone was really talented, but they were like a Nazi, or like they were like, you know, like using their talents for like
how would you
genocide?
How do you use your comedic talent to start in that? What?
What if like they were doing stuff that was good, but like good art, but it was like morally bankrupt?
Well, then we wouldn't have the same values, so it wouldn't work.
Okay. I think that really we should be making love with the world and humanity and consciousness and life and beauty and order in the universe, and just another person is a convenient way to do that. But really, like, what we love is people, and to have one person that you can show all that love to is convenient and like a good manifestation of that. But I think deep down we really just want to be a part of humanity and show love for humanity.
I like that.
Anyways, I think dating is fun, but you know, it's not the end all be all. So we're going down to San Antonio to do a show at Jokesters Pub and Grub. So come out if you're in San Antonio at 9. We're gonna be there at 8:30 apparently.
Is that when the show starts at 9?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to San Antonio?
I have. I did Blind Tiger in. I went down there with Jason in.
Rodriguez?
In February.
Who's taller, you or Jason Rodriguez?
Probably Jason. I'm 5'2", so everybody saw it.
Jason's pretty small.
Was he like 5'4", 5'5"?
Yeah, maybe even 5'3".
He's a big personality. I didn't notice.
Jason Rodriguez?
I'm just kidding.
No, that's cool. You guys probably saved a lot on gas.
So we drove down there. We did the show, and then we drove straight back, and then we.
I'm excited to stay in San Antonio. I heard there's some festival.
Really? Where?
Yeah.
What part?
Downtown. If I told you what part, would you even know?
I meant like, is it near us where we're
Probably.
staying?
I don't even know where we're staying.
Oh, so you don't even know if it's near the venue?
It's near the venue, but
Oh.
we're staying at my friend's house, so. But yeah, I mean, I love San Antonio. I heard it's a little more Texas than Austin. It's got a lot more toughness. I think it's a military town.
My grandfather really wants me to see the Alamo.
Why?
I don't know. Every time. When I
got to
was.
see the Alamo, kiddo.
That doesn't. No, he's not British. It's not accurate.
I'm
He's
so old.
Italian.
I'm an Italian. Pavabucci. You got to see the animal.
That's not that Italian. Well, he is full Italian, but he doesn't sound like that.
Oh, I'm so old.
He sounds like this. Holly,
I think the
you
Alamo,
gotta see the Alamo.
it means a lot to certain people. I just don't see how the underdog story really plays itself out when it's so clear that America was going to win. It just seems so obvious that we were going to win. Maybe because the Alamo was like this fort, and then Americans were trying to take over this land until they were in there, and then the Mexicans
so it was a fight against the Mexicans?
Yeah.
Hey.
It's like, do we really have to celebrate our victory over the Mexicans? We already won so hard.
I feel like I don't think we were the were we the underdogs at that point?
Well, in that particular battle,
So pretty.
I don't think in the war we were, but in that battle, the Americans were surrounded.
Here comes a dumb question. What war was that?
I think it was just in general, just like, I don't think it was like a war. I think it was just like
Just a battle?
hostilities. Maybe it was the Mexican-American War.
So that was when is that when we got Texas?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, they did fight for this land. The Comanches were here. They were hard to deal with.
We don't need to go into that history. It's sad.
But it
Look
was
how
a fight.
pretty the sky is. Are you seeing the sky right now?
It's a beautiful sky. Look at that sky.
Everything has to be content. Nothing can be enjoyed if it's not monotone.
Well, I don't want the viewers to be.
Can't let
I mean,
the show must go on. No, I like it.
so what do you think about what does your grandpa think about the Alamo?
He just wants me to see it.
Why?
I don't know. He just wants me to. My grandfather was I think he was in the Korean War.
Korean War?
Yeah, I think he was in he's in the Cuban, I think he was in the Cuban Missile Crisis. He wasn't in Vietnam.
He was in the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I think so.
Was he in the Air Force or the
Or
Navy?
Bay of Pigs. What's that one? Bay of Pigs.
Oh, the Bay of Pigs.
I forget what he was in. He was in something.
Okay.
I also forget what branch.
So he's a military man.
He was. I forget
So
what
he
he did.
appreciates a good fight.
I guess. I feel bad I don't remember this. My great-grandfather was in World War II.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
Japan or Europe?
I have no idea. And he is long gone.
Oh, we'll never know.
Rest in peace, Scrambled Pig.
So the Alamo's there, the Riverwalk. Have you seen Miss Congeniality?
No.
You have a scene in the Riverwalk.
In San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go do some sightseeing.
I would love to. We could do some remotes. We could do some man on the street interviews. So what do you think about your ultimate TV show? Like, what kind of stuff would you do?
Ultimate TV show?
Yeah, like
If I was gonna create a show?
yeah, NBC.
Like a live show or just like any show, like a drama, like a scripted
Yeah,
show?
that's what I'm asking you. Is what would you do? Like a prank show, or like a drama, or like a sitcom, or like a?
I think either a drama, a sitcom, or animation. That was one of my dream careers when I was I think I was in high school and college, was working in a writer's room.
You wanted to be riffing and throwing out jokes.
Yeah, I wanted to like write scripts and stuff, be like a screenwriter.
Why?
I like to write. I used to like writing, like creating characters and stuff.
That's cool. You wanted to like create a world.
Thanks.
But I mean, I never really wanted to be on a writer's room. But I would love to create something with people that I thought were talented.
Yeah. I want to meet this girl, this sketch girl. I hope they have good food there.
San Antonio or the Pub and Grove?
Pub and Grove.
is the comedy in New Orleans?
It was fun. It was every audience there is just way too like, they just make it way too easy for you because they're all just already having a good time. So just anything you say just hits so much harder than it would normally. That's how I describe it. You're just like, you're spoiled. The crowds out there spoil you.
Yeah.
Because they're just like too good. Except I did one bar show that was pretty low key, but I did an open mic on Friday night, and it was packed. So there was a full audience. It was an open mic. They had like music in between each comic. It felt like a show, and the crowd was just so hot. Like they were just so into the comedy that it was just like I did all my hits. I didn't really try new stuff because I wanted to like establish myself in a new scene.
That's
so
a skill.
So I did that, and then Ben went up after me, and then he killed even more. So then the guy that ran the show was like, or that ran the mic was just like, whoa, where did, like, with these two comics from Austin just like showed up, just blew the roof off. Not to be like cocky, but we did really well, and then we just left. Everyone was like, what was that?
Deal with that. Now you know I exist.
And I stayed until I was gonna go home Sunday afternoon. It's an 8-hour drive, and Ben had to be at work at 8. But instead, I stayed and did a spot at this place called the Hi Ho Lounge on Sunday night, and it was a good show. I think I did 8 minutes, 7 minutes, and then we got in the car at like 9. We literally didn't get back to Austin until like 5 in the morning. But I guess it was worth it because we got a lot of good stage time. It was a fun trip.
Yeah, I love going to a new scene. I think like doing your old material really well is a skill that it is hard to work on unless you travel a lot or do shows a lot. And I think like a lot of open micers don't appreciate it. They think it's not as creative, but it is, the rewards are higher. It doesn't matter if you can write a great, like a great mediocre joke every day. It's like if you have like a solid 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you practice that over and over again to the point where it's unstoppable, it's like, that's way better than having like...
No, exactly. And you get to see what's universally funny, or like what's relatable in a whole new place with a whole new culture, and like...
You get used to saying it in a funny way. You're like, how do I make this funny each time? And you find the funniest way to say it, and then you say it that way over and over again.
And also, like, everybody here has heard it all before, so it's not like I'm not getting as good feedback. But there, it's brand new. They've never heard it, so it kind of like shows me what the joke looks like in a vacuum when I'm not in a room with people who aren't even paying attention or have already heard it. And I'm like, oh, maybe this joke is like really like is actually like holds up.
Yeah, I think that's important to do.
Yeah, 100%. No, definitely have like...
It's important to find out which one of your jokes is the best and be able to trot it out when you have to kill really hard.
What do you mean trot it out? Like make the joke longer?
No, just choose which jokes you're gonna do.
Oh yeah. Do you listen back to your sets and like mark which jokes are like the funniest or whatever? Like get the most laughs? You don't do that?
No, I just have a general sense and a feeling towards them that changes every time I do it. It's like if I feel like this joke is good, then it's probably good. Yeah,
because I actually like doing that. I don't think it's a waste of time. Maybe it is, but I'll sit down and like type out all the jokes I did in a set, and then be like, okay, this got a small laugh, this got a big laugh, and then I'll go through it and like look at how many.
That's just one set. Like, do you do that for every set?
Yeah. So then I go back and look like, okay, which joke is repeatedly which joke is repeatedly not getting anything, and then I kind of like look for patterns, like, okay, this joke, clearly there's something about this joke that even in like a dead room it got a laugh, versus like, you know, like I kind of just I try to do it that way. I used to write my scripts, I used to write them out word for word. I used to transcribe my entire set, but it got to a point where I was just like, I can't keep up, there's too many. So now I just kind of like outline them, and I'll just like, I'll type out like keywords and stuff that I'm like, oh, I like this phrase, or I like this word, but I try not to type out the entire thing if I don't have to, because it's like, no, I'm just burning myself out for no reason.
Yeah, it's a lot of mental energy to memorize it word for word.
Well, it's not even like I'm trying to memorize it. It's just like I want to like pay attention to like, oh, was it funnier when I put this word before this word? Was it funnier when like...
Yeah, I mean, I just remember the general things. I have to remember like, oh, I gotta put this word last in this joke, and I have to remember not to say this word until at a certain point, or else it's gonna ruin the punchline.
Okay, so you take a more like... So what do you think is the most important thing about being good at comedy? Do you think it's stage time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's love for the audience, love for yourself, love for humanity. Because if you hate the audience, you're gonna go up there and be like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna shit on them and inflict pain upon them instead of comedy.
I don't think I ever shit on the audience that much.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they deserve it. Like at some of the shittier open mics, it's like depressing, and the comics and / audience are trying to hurt your feelings, and they're like purposely trying to fuck with your head. So at that point, it's sometimes important to lash out so that they don't get unruly.
I don't give that much of a fuck what other comics think of my material, because a lot of it's like, I'm not a comics comic, and I've just accepted that.
Don't say that. Everyone loves you.
No, thanks. But like, I just mean like, I don't know. I guess sometimes I do comedy for comics, but I think I try to get out of that habit. It's a bad habit.
Because everyone can tell that, oh, this is like structurally sound.
Yeah, if you like joke writing, then you'll like my jokes. But if you're looking for something that's like edgy and dirty, then you're not gonna like me at all. You're gonna be very bored.
Yeah, if you like jokes that make fun of specific things that some people do, like your roommate that laughed a certain way.
Oh yeah.
Then people are gonna like your jokes. But if they like, you know, feeling...
Can we end this podcast? I gotta
sex,
focus.
then they're not gonna like your jokes, because
we're here.
Your jokes are very clean and boring.
Yeah, they are clean and boring. All right.